The world is full of mysteries. From the depths of the oceans to the vastness of space, there are countless enigmas that baffle the human mind. Some are natural phenomena, while others are man-made puzzles that have stood the test of time. Yet, few are as captivating and perplexing as the unsolved case of D.B. Cooper. This is a story that has intrigued and mystified people for decades, a tale that combines elements of adventure, crime, and the unknown. In 1971, a man, known to us only by the alias D.B. Cooper, hijacked a Boeing 727. He boarded the plane in Portland, Oregon, and soon after takeoff he revealed his plan. Cooper demanded a ransom of $200,000, a significant sum at the time. The authorities complied, delivering the money and parachutes to the plane when it landed in Seattle. After receiving the ransom, Cooper released the passengers but kept some crew members on board. Then, in an audacious move, he instructed the pilots to take off again and head towards Mexico City. Somewhere over the dense forests of the Pacific Northwest, in the dead of night, Cooper opened the rear door of the plane and parachuted into the unknown. His story, a blend of daring and mystery, continues to fascinate. The media frenzy that followed was unprecedented, with newspapers and television stations covering every detail of the case. People across the country were captivated by the audacity of the crime and the mystery of Cooper's fate. Was he a criminal mastermind, meticulously planning every detail of his escape? Or was he just a desperate man taking a wild gamble in a bid for freedom? Theories abound, but the truth remains elusive. Some believe he perished in the wilderness, unable to survive the harsh conditions. Others think he managed to escape and start a new life under a different identity. Maybe we'll never know the real story behind D.B. Cooper. Cooper's story is a puzzle with missing pieces. Despite extensive investigations, the FBI was never able to conclusively identify him or determine his fate. The case remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in American history. The audacity of his crime, the precision of his planning, and his ultimate disappearance make him an enigma. He has become a legend, a ghost story in human form, haunting the annals of criminal history. He's a ghost story in human form, a figure who appeared out of nowhere, executed a daring plan, and then vanished without a trace. His legend has only grown over the years, with each retelling adding new layers to the mystery. He left behind a trail of questions but few answers. The case files are filled with dead ends and false leads, each one adding to the enigma. Detectives and amateur sleuths alike have tried to piece together the puzzle, but the truth remains just out of reach. His tale reminds us that even in our modern age, some mysteries remain unsolved. D.B. Cooper's story is a testament to the enduring allure of the unknown, a reminder that some secrets are destined to remain hidden forever. Our story begins on November 24, 1971. It was a crisp autumn day, the kind that makes you want to bundle up in a warm coat and scarf. The air was filled with the anticipation of the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday, a time when families across the United States were preparing to gather and give thanks. It's a day that will forever be etched in aviation history. The skies were clear and the airports were bustling with activity. People were eager to reach their destinations, whether to reunite with loved ones or to escape for a brief holiday. It was a busy day for travel, with people heading home for Thanksgiving. The terminals were filled with the sounds of announcements, the rolling of suitcases, and the chatter of excited travelers. Among the sea of faces, one man stood out, though not for any remarkable reason at the time. Among them was a man who would soon be known to the world as D.B. Cooper. He was an unassuming figure, blending seamlessly into the crowd. He approached the ticket counter with a calm demeanor, purchasing a one-way ticket with cash. He purchased a one-way ticket on Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305. His destination, Seattle, Washington. The flight was a short one, just a hop from Portland, Oregon to Seattle, but it would become one of the most infamous flights in aviation history. He boarded the plane in Portland, Oregon, using the name Dan Cooper. He was dressed in a dark suit and tie, carrying a briefcase that would later become the focus of intense scrutiny. He chose a seat in the back of the plane, lit a cigarette, and ordered a bourbon and soda. In those days, smoking was allowed on flights, and the cabin soon filled with the haze of cigarette smoke. Nothing about him seemed out of the ordinary. He appeared to be just another business traveler, perhaps heading home for the holidays or on a routine trip for work. He appeared calm, quiet, and unassuming, blending in with the other passengers. No one could have guessed that this man would soon become the subject of one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in American history. He was described as being in his mid-40s, wearing a dark suit and tie. He carried a briefcase which he kept close to him at all times. His appearance was that of a typical businessman, someone you might see in any airport on any given day. What was inside that briefcase would soon become the center of an enduring mystery. As the plane prepared for takeoff, no one on board could have imagined the events that were about to unfold. Events that would leave an indelible mark on aviation history and spark a legend that endures to this day. Shortly after takeoff, Cooper passed a note to a flight attendant named Florence Schaffner. The note's message was chillingly simple. "I have a bomb." Cooper showed Schaffner the contents of his briefcase, revealing what appeared to be a collection of wires and red sticks. Fear spread through the cabin as the gravity of the situation became clear. Cooper, however, remained remarkably calm. He outlined his demands. He wanted $200,000 in unmarked $20 bills and 4 parachutes. He wanted the money and parachutes delivered upon landing in Seattle. News of the hijacking spread quickly, reaching the FBI and Northwest Orient Airlines. Authorities decided to cooperate with Cooper's demands. They didn't want to risk the lives of the passengers and crew. While the plane circled above Seattle, FBI agents gathered the ransom money and parachutes. Cooper, true to his word, released 36 passengers in exchange for the ransom. The plane remained on the tarmac while the remaining crew and Cooper waited. The atmosphere on board was tense, a mix of fear and anticipation. Section 5. The Jump. With the ransom in his possession, Cooper instructed the pilots to fly to Mexico City. He also demanded that the plane maintain a low altitude and slow speed. At approximately 8 p.m., somewhere over the wilderness of southwest Washington state, Cooper did the unthinkable. He lowered the rear stairs of the Boeing 727 and jumped into the night. He had with him the ransom money and one of the parachutes. It was a daring escape, one that has baffled investigators for decades. No one saw him jump. No one knows for sure where he landed, or if he survived the fall. Section 6. The investigation begins. Immediately after Cooper's jump, a massive manhunt ensued. The FBI combed the potential landing zone, a vast and rugged area. They used helicopters, tracking dogs, and hundreds of personnel. Despite their efforts, they found no trace of Cooper. The mystery deepened when, in 1980, a young boy found a portion of the ransom money. The bills, still bundled together, were discovered on the banks of the Columbia River. This discovery only raised more questions than answers. How did the money get there? Was Cooper still alive? Section 7. Suspects and Theories. Over the years, the FBI investigated thousands of leads in the D.B. Cooper case. From the moment he vanished into the night sky, the mystery of D.B. Cooper has captivated the world. The FBI, along with local law enforcement, poured countless hours into the investigation, chasing down every possible lead. They chased down tips from across the globe, each offering a possible clue. From the dense forests of the Pacific Northwest to bustling cities around the world, the search for Cooper spanned continents. Every tip, no matter how small, was meticulously followed up on, in hopes of finding that one piece of evidence that would crack the case wide open. Some suspects emerged as more plausible than others, but none could definitively be linked to the crime. Over the years, a number of individuals were scrutinized, their lives dissected in the search for the elusive hijacker. Some suspects seemed to fit the profile perfectly while others were long shots. Yet, despite the intense scrutiny, no one could be definitively tied to the daring heist. Some believe Cooper was a skilled skydiver, pointing to the precision of his escape. Theories abound about his expertise. Was he a professional with years of experience who executed his plan with military precision? The way he jumped from the plane in the dead of night suggested a level of skill that only a seasoned skydiver might possess. Others theorize he was an amateur who got lucky and likely perished. On the other hand, some argue that he was merely an amateur who took a massive risk and got incredibly lucky. The harsh wilderness he landed in would have been unforgiving, and many believe he didn't survive the jump. Theories abound, each more intriguing than the last. From seasoned detectives to amateur sleuths, everyone has a theory. Some are grounded in meticulous research, while others are wild speculations. Each theory adds another layer to the enigma that is D.B. Cooper. Was he an ex-military man, a disgruntled employee, or just a thrill-seeker? The possibilities are endless. Could he have been a former soldier using skills honed in combat? Or perhaps a disillusioned worker driven to desperation? Maybe he was simply an adventurer seeking the ultimate thrill. The lack of concrete evidence has allowed speculation to thrive. With no definitive answers, the legend of D.B. Cooper continues to grow. The empty courtrooms and abandoned airstrips stand as silent witnesses to a mystery that has yet to be solved. And so, the speculation continues, keeping the story of D.B. Cooper alive in the public imagination. Section 8. The Cooper Legacy. The D.B. Cooper case remains one of the most captivating unsolved mysteries in American history. It has inspired books, movies, documentaries, and countless amateur investigations. The case continues to fascinate, in part because it represents a bygone era. Cooper's audacity and his ability to outwit authorities have made him a folk hero to some. He represents a time when it seemed like you could disappear, a time before ubiquitous security cameras and instant global communication. Section 9. Conclusion: the mystery endures. D.B. Cooper's story is a reminder that some mysteries may never be solved. Did he survive the jump and live out his days in anonymity? Or did he meet a more tragic end in the wilderness? We may never know, but that's part of what makes this story so compelling. The lack of answers allows our imaginations to run wild. It allows us to ponder the what-ifs and the maybes. The mystery of D.B. Cooper endures, a testament to the enduring power of the unknown.